Hello students, last class we discussed about the physical quantities. You know the classification of physical quantities as fundamental quantities and derived quantities. Then for expressing a physical quantity we need a number, magnitude and a unit. Now what is a physical unit? The standard amount of a physical quantity that is used to measure the same physical quantity is called physical unit. Now, what are the properties of that physical unit? Its characteristics. It should be well defined. We should define that unit. It should be of convenient size. That is, it should be of suitable size. That means that should not be too large or too small. Okay, then it should be easily reproducible. We have to use these units for deriving other units also. It should be imperishable or indestructible. It should be internationally acceptable. Then it should not be affected by the change in physical conditions such as temperature, pressure. Then we can say about the time also. All these are the characteristics of a physical unit. Now, that physical quantities we classified into two, fundamental quantities and derived quantities. For fundamental quantities units there, for derived quantities also units there. So we can classify the physical units into two. What are they? Fundamental units and derived units. Fundamental units are the units of fundamental quantities. That means these quantities can neither be derived from one another nor they can be further resolved into simple units. We cannot derive this fundamental unit from other units or we cannot resolve these units into other units. That means simply we can say this as the units of fundamental quantities, or we can call these units as base units. We know 7 fundamental quantities are there. So units of that fundamental quantities we can take as the example of fundamental units. You know, length, time, temperature, luminous intensity, amount of substance, electric current, all these are the fundamental quantities. Units of that quantities we can take as the example of fundamental units. We will go to these quantities later. Now, derived units. You know, derived quantities are the quantities that we can derive from the fundamental quantities. So how can we define this derived units? Derived units are the units which can be expressed in terms of fundamental units. Okay, they are called derived units. Here you can see a derived quantity, that is speed. Its equation you know, speed is equal to distance by time. Unit of speed, how can we write? Unit of distance by unit of time. Unit of distance is meter by unit of time is second here. So meter per second is the unit of speed. You know, meter is the unit of length. Length is a fundamental quantity. So meter is fundamental unit. Second is the unit of time. You know, time is a fundamental quantity. So we can say second is a fundamental unit. So here we can write the unit of speed in terms of two fundamental units. They are meter and second. Like that we can derive the units for all the derived quantities. Okay. System of units. A complete set of units which we can use to measure all kinds of units. That means fundamental units, the units of fundamental quantities and the derived quantities. That units we can call as system of units. Here you can see three systems: CGS system, FPS system, MKS system. In the CGS system, C stands for centimeter, that is a unit of length. G for gram, unit of mass, and S for second, unit of time. So the CGS system is based on centimeter, gram and second as the fundamental units of length, mass and time respectively. Like that, FPS, F for foot, P for pound, S for second. Here also we can say this FPS system is based on foot, pound and second. These are the fundamental units of length, mass and time. Then MKS system, that is based on meter, kilogram, second. These are the fundamental units of length, mass and time respectively. Now, SI system of units, you all know about this. This is internationally accepted system of units. In that we have 7 fundamental quantities and their units. Along with that we have 2 supplementary units also. In this table you can see 7 basic physical quantities are written there. Fundamental quantities are written there. Next column you can see the units, then the next column you can see the symbol. We can go through each one. Length, its unit is meter. I am saying about SI unit. Length, meter, its symbol lowercase m. Now mass, kilogram, kg is the symbol. Time, second, S is the symbol for that. Electric current, ampere, uppercase A. Temperature, its unit is Kelvin, K. Luminous intensity, candela, CD is the symbol. Quantity of matter, mole, 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 that is the unit, its symbol is mole. Now, we have 2 supplementary quantities also. In that first one is plane angle, its unit is radian, its symbol rad. So here this 1 radian, for what purpose that is using means that is used to measure plane angle. Then the next one that is used to measure solid angle. Okay, so that supplementary quantity we can take as solid angle and its unit is steradian and its symbol is SR. Advantages of SI system of units. It is a coherent system of units. Why we are saying SI system is coherent system? The derived units can be obtained by multiplying or dividing the base units. So we can call this system as coherent system of unit. It is a rational system of units. For example, you know unit of energy is joule. We have different forms of energy, mechanical energy, then potential energy there, kinetic energy, sound energy, wave energy, different forms of energy there. So for all these forms of energy we have to use the same unit, that is joule. Then it is a metric system that we can write in powers of 10. It is an internationally accepted system of units. Now its base units are invariant and easily reproducible. All these are the advantages of SI system of units.